Here's the deal, man. I was sitting here pondering on a situation um, that had taken place today, and I know what happened to me today would have broken somebody else. We're talking a big situation. And even my wife, she said, you've matured because if the same thing would have happened to you, you would have went off back in the day, but you're not going off now. And I wanted to really say thank you, Lord, for helping me to grow. And this is for you guys because many of you guys are writing down your dreams and everything else. And I know this is not Sunday and this is impromptu is what they call it. You're just out of the blue. But I really want you guys to hear me good on this. I think that a lot of you guys, it's great that you're hearing these positive stories. You're writing down your goals. You're looking at your goals. You're visualizing your goals. I get that. But what I think the problem is with goals, your goals can cause you so much pain in your life. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why a lot of people don't achieve their goals is because they give up on them. And the reason why they give up on their goals is because the journey to accomplishing a goal is extremely painful. Did you hear what I said? And what happens is the moment you set out to achieve a number of goals, it seems like all forces of evil come against you. Things happen to you out of the blue that normally never happen to you. Let me give you an example. And this is just talk, but it's been on my heart to kind of encourage some people who I really feel out there are dealing with discouragement. And if that's you, I would love for you to just type a number 1 in the box so I know that I'm not making things up. Just type a number 1 in the box. And hello, by the way, thank you for those who are watching me now. Again, I know this is not Sunday's video. I got something hot for you guys on Sunday, but I really want to it's really heavy on my heart to really just give some encouragement to somebody out there. I don't know, maybe it's just one person, I don't know, but apparently to the number ones, this is for you, especially since I'm a Forex trader and so are you. Okay, so just let me talk to you just for a moment, and hopefully my sharing with you will help you feel better about maybe what's going on in your world as far as you trying to be an entrepreneur, which means you own your own world, you create your own world, you become your own boss. That sounds real good and sexy. The problem is that the journey can wear you out. And that explains why a lot of people who start out saying, "Oh, I'm going to achieve this and that goals," never finish accomplishing them. Because it's easy to start out on a goal. It's easy to put up a visual board. It's easy to write down your goals. But when you begin on that journey, watch this, you guys, and I want you to hear me real good on this. You know what we never write down on our board of goals? You know what we never write down? The obstacles. Have you ever noticed that? Whenever you talk to somebody about their dream board, they never write down how they're going to deal with the obstacles that come their way along the journey. And because we're so focused, Forex traders, on becoming a full-time trader, buying this car, buying this house, paying your bills, and doing all these withdrawals and being a professional trader. And I'm just talking about that as a Forex trader, but that can also translate into becoming a mogul in music or a fashion designer and all these different things. Whatever you set your heart out to want to do, you write them up, you write down your dream board, you do all these different things, but the issue is that nobody ever puts on their dream board that they're going to keep a positive attitude during the obstacles. And I'm going to tell you why we don't do that. Because we never calculate obstacles along the way. Type amen in there if I'm telling you the truth so far. See, the problem is, even in Forex, you set out, okay, I'm going to become a full-time trader. And then the charts eat you alive. Then this happens. Then that happens. And then, see, I can talk to you about Forex, but I'm really not just talking about Forex only. I'm talking about many things that you have attempted in your life. And now when you write your goals, you have a sense of intimidation about whether you can really achieve it. The reason why is because on that dream board, on one half, you should write all the things you feel like you will succeed and achieve and go and get. But on the other half, or a little corner of your dream board, you need to start writing down the obstacles, meaning the negative people who are going to talk about you along the way. See, when you are nothing and nobody talks about you. Why? You're nothing to talk about. But the moment you start on your journey, you got negative family members who come in talking negative to you. You got people who's against you. All of a sudden, bills that never existed, all of a sudden, surprise bills come that eats up a little extra money that you had saved for your dream. Oh, then you got this and that. Then you're arguing with your spouse or your significant other. Then the kids are acting the fool. The dog will want to finally piss on your leg or bite you. You understand what I'm saying? Just out of the blue. The moment you set a goal and your dreams, then all hell breaks loose. Why is it like that? I got some to talk to y'all about, so just stay with me. And again, make absolutely sure you tune in on Sunday's video because I got something hot to share with you guys that's kind of going to help you along with overcoming what we're talking about tonight. And again, I know this is not a scheduled thing. Normally I'll talk on Sundays, but I'm really feeling heavy with discouragement for somebody out there. Somebody's dealing with discouragement. I want to talk to you. Let me talk to you about this. I was talking to one of our traders in the group. And this guy, he's actually now, he's part of our team, but he's a multimillionaire or a millionaire, whatever. I don't ask people about their money, but I know he got lots of money now. And we were just chit-chatting just the other day. And he said, Uncle P, he said, people think this is easy. Trading Forex is easy. We was talking about trading Forex and stuff. He said, people think it's easy. It's not easy. I said, oh my God, don't I know that? Why do you think I spend so much time doing these videos? Why do you think I spend 2 and 3 hours per class per week when it's only supposed to be a 1 hour class? Because I'm trying to create a situation to help people avoid the obstacles that he and I have been through along this journey of trying to become entrepreneurs in Forex. It was a very tough situation. Some of you guys are going through it now. You're going through it now. And every week you say, I'm going to quit. But then you come right back. And then you say, I'm going to quit. And then you come right back. And then you say you're going to quit. And you come right back. See, it's you have to understand that you have to leave a margin or don't over leverage your emotions on achieving the goal, because you need to leave a little bit of margin room for the negativity that's going to come your way. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? I want to make sure you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Some of you guys, you're quitting because you feel like, well, maybe this is a sign. If you ever said that to yourself, type a number 3 in the box. Well, this must be a sign. You ever said that to yourself? This must be a sign because, and then you fill in the gaps because you hit an obstacle. And that obstacle hurt your feelings so bad until you just felt like, you know what, maybe this is a sign that I'm doing the wrong thing. But oh, loved one, let me tell you something. Oftentimes, that's just an obstacle trying to test you to see if you're worth what you say you're worth. You say you want to be a millionaire. You say you want to do this and you say you want to do that. But life will test you first to see if you're worth what you say you are. That's how life disqualifies so many people. Watch this. Even some people you know in your family and so forth who tried out on a dream and life came and attacked their dream just to test to see if it was authentic. Do you have what it takes to get what you want out of life? And when life came and tested them, they quit. And so when you start talking about your dreams, they expect you to do the same. And truth be told, within you, you probably feel like quitting sometimes. Do you see what I'm saying? So let me go and talk about this. Let me give you an example. My friend told me, he said, I was so, some of you guys may have seen my video I did a couple of weeks ago. And I had talked about how I had held my Bitcoin account when it was just at 9,000. As you can see, it's now at 51 or 52,000, something like that. Okay. So we were talking about Bitcoin. And he said, well, what happened to me? He said, I was just new and I had a best friend. Watch obstacles. Watch these obstacles. Don't tune me out. Just wait until I go to the completion of this. This is going to bless your soul. You'll see why. Just hang in there. So we got to talking about Bitcoin, and he began to talk about how he had started out just learning it, and he had a best friend who knew a little bit more about it. And so he invested $5,000 into Bitcoin way back in the day when it was cheap. And then as it began to grow, guess what his friend did who helped him set up his account? His friend changed the password to the account and robbed him of his Bitcoin. And he was very deflated, as you and I would be. But here's the difference of what he did. What he did differently, which is what not many people would do, his feelings were hurt. He had to stop being friends with this person over money. But then he decided to invest himself into learning about it, so that the obstacle that he had became challenged with, he overcame it by continuing on, educated himself so that what happened to him would never happen again, to the point of him having to depend on somebody else to make his money for him. And now he's successful not only in Forex, but in real estate and in Bitcoin trading and many other things. Do you see how you can convert an obstacle into a success if you just don't quit because you ran into an obstacle? Type in number 7 if you hear what I'm saying. See, it's all about how tough you are mentally. Anybody can draw up a dream board. Anybody can write down goals. But not everybody has the tenacity and the energy to keep on going past them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some of you guys watch this. I was talking to my class last week about this. I said, you know, when I started off doing these videos, which by the way, I never kept track of it. I didn't know I would been doing videos for you guys for over 2 years straight. I didn't even know. I don't keep track. I just do what I feel like doing because I want to help. I didn't know. But what I do know is I remember when I started out, I had so many people hitting me up talking about, oh, you ain't nothing but a scammer. You ain't this, you ain't that, you da, 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 da. And as I told my team, I said, you know, the one thing I thank God for is that all that negative chatter from all them people who didn't even know me, talking like you even know me, never even met me, never even shook my hand, never even contacted me to say, hey, I got a few questions, nothing. Just out of the blue, attacks. What was that? Life challenging me. Asking me a question. I'm going to slap you. Are you going to keep on going or are you going to quit? Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? Life slapped me. It slapped my feelings. And I got angry. And I said, to hell with this, man. I don't have to deal with all this. That was life saying, go ahead and quit. Go ahead and quit. You ain't worth me giving you anything. You ain't worth my time rewarding you because you can't even handle a little criticism. Are some of you guys dealing with that? As I told my students this week, I said, you wonder why so many people are on social media searching for people to click the like button. I mean, they're doing so many extreme things. Why? Because at the end of the day, they don't have the tenacity to deal with people saying, I don't like it. And so the more likes that they get, the better they feel. But what if nobody clicked the like button? Do you believe in yourself enough to keep on going? Ain't that something? Let's keep going. I got a little bit more. Forex failures. I can tell you the hundreds of thousands of dollars I had lost learning this stuff. That's why whoever don't believe that I know what I know, you can kiss both my butt cheeks and keep it moving because I don't care. You weren't there when I was going through my pain and my losses. And a matter of fact, there were students on Wednesday's class, because I teach every Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time, and it's free. I don't charge you anything extra. Once you purchase the trading system, the classes are free. I had students in there on Wednesday, and just so happened my beautiful wife had brought me up a cup of water. You know, she brings me up water so I can drink some water, make sure I'm getting my water into me, right? So she brought it up, and she just so happened had entered the door when I was talking to my students about my journey. And I told them a secret about Forex. People in Forex are spending way too much time on something that is very simple because they don't see it. And my wife happened to step into the room, and I'd asked her a question so that they can hear her say it, so they'll know I'm not making it up. And I asked my wife, I said, because we were talking about spending so much time on the charts until you're neglecting your family. I asked my wife, she stepped in. There you go, De Leon. There you go. See, somebody was in the group. Well, hey, what's happening, by the way? One of the students right there. There, see, proof. Comment is right there. Said the answer before I even said it. See, she stepped in, and she said that I was away. I was a absentee husband for 3 years. See, nobody knows the sacrifice that I put in. And as I told my students, by her recollection, or remembrance, I'll just use that word, by her recollection, that's what I meant to say, her recollection, it was 3 years. But for me, I know it was actually 4.5. How do I know? Because even when I started being around her more and less on the charts, I was still like many of you guys, always on my cell phone, still looking at the charts on my phone all the time. And even when we were supposed to be sitting together, hugged up and booed up, my mind was on, I was physically with her, but my mind was where? Just like y'all, on them charts. So she became the side piece and the charts became my actual wife. And it was damaging. See, nobody knows this stuff. See, and that's what happened to people with dreams. It causes you to have to sacrifice something. And in the end, you're going to suffer losses if you're not careful trying to pursue a dream. Why? Because dreams cost. They're not free. And I heard something very, very deep, and I find it to be very true. And I want y'all to write this down. Write this down. And by the way, I really do thank those who tuned in and the thousands who will watch it later. Hear what I'm saying. Somebody said that dreams, hear me good, dreams cost. But here's how the cost works. You must pay the price first. There's no layaway plan. There's no, oh, I'll pay my sacrifices later on after you give me a little blessing of this. It doesn't work that way. Dreams want a full tuition paid up front before it coughs up the rewards. And so while you're diddly-dabbling, thinking that you don't have to pay no price and you're going to skid on by, that's why your journey is harder. You know, in the Bible, there's a term in the Bible that you hear all the time, whether you believe in the Bible or not. The term is called, it came to what? Pass. See, it only will pass if you come and confront it and keep it moving. Hurt feelings and all, you got to keep on going. Now, here's what I also learned. That sometimes when an obstacle comes, it's not to say that you are not going to make it. What it is saying that you have to sometimes find another way. Let me give you an example. Years ago, when I was struggling in Forex, I studied the market maker's method for at least 3 years straight. 3 years, market maker's method. Y'all know what I'm talking about. M's, W's, double tops, double bottoms. You think I don't know that stuff? You know I know it. And I remember being in them classes with the people, and it seemed like the whole class was getting it except for me. Everybody, y'all feel this. It happened to you probably. Everybody was posting profits but me. Everybody was able to look at a naked chart. We need no indicators at all on the charts, and it was able to spot it, and I couldn't see it. And I was so frustrated. I remember sometimes I cried. And I said the same thing that many of you have said. I'm going to quit. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired. I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours marking up charts, buying indicators, this and that and this, and I still seen nothing. The Forex business was supposed to be profitable, and it was making withdrawals out of my life, both emotionally, physically, and financially, and relationally. Because you heard those who were, and one of the students was there. See, right in the chat, confirmed. I told y'all I don't make this stuff up. I ain't got to lie. For what? My price costs too much to sit here and fool around with people. That's why I do videos more about what your journey is going to be than just always showing you charts. I always will show charts, but I'm spending more time with that because guess what? Nobody can call me a scammer. Because if I'm telling the truth, then the truth will set you free. Because you know doggone well, if you have been trying to trade for any length of time, you know that I'm 100 on the spot with these videos. Because can't no scammer talk about this because they ain't been through the journey. That's why they don't do these videos about how it feels to be in the journey of a Forex trader. Because the scammers haven't actually did it. So they're scamming you to try to get a shortcut. But a real trader who comes on camera and tells you the emotional pain, you know that's the truth. Because only a person who's been through it knows. Only a person who had written up dream boards and cried because they didn't happen. You know that's authentic because it happened to you. And some of you guys, it's happening now. It's happening now. Let me hurry up and wrap this up. Try this. Try being a multimillionaire. And then you go back to losing everything and having to start all over again. Have that ever happened to you? Some of you guys, no, I ain't never been a millionaire. Yeah, I'm telling you, just because you become a millionaire don't mean that it's going to always be that way. Life comes and tests you, just like it did Job in the Bible. In his day, he was a multimillionaire, and yet life came and tested him. It was a painful feeling for me to have lost everything I had built. Millions of dollars gone. And I started out back at nothing. And the only thing I had left was my mind, which I almost lost when I lost everything. See, dreams will cost something. Let me give you some examples. You know, I like listening to different people for different reasons. But the ones I really like listening to is the ones who I know when they tell their story of success and this and that. I like them because I know that they have also told the story of their actual journey. They didn't hide secrets behind it to try to make like it was. You know, I don't really get down with people who, and I have no problem with people who have success. That's not my issue. But I do have a problem with people who's always talking about their success, but never what they went through. Because they try to make it seem like, oh, anybody can do it. No, not everybody can. Because not everybody has the emotional fortitude to deal with the problems that comes along with your dreams. Again, why do you think everybody almost has a dream of becoming something? But when life hits them with challenges, why are so few people accomplishing their dreams? Because of the cost. Let me give you a couple of examples. Bishop T.D. Jakes. I remember he told his story about when he was preaching and doing his thing. And see, people call him a money grubbing, this and that, and that's fine. Say what you want about the man. But here's what he also said, which was the same thing I'm saying. He said, nobody was there when I preached, but I had holes at the bottom of my shoes. And I was still preaching when I only had one suit to wear that had holes on the inside. He said, I was still preaching when the lights at my house were out. But yet I was still preaching the gospel, keeping everybody else encouraged. But then when I went home, I didn't even have my lights on for my family. And now that he's successful in a worldwide name, everybody got comments about him. You better take note of what I'm telling you. Because the same thing happened to me on a small scale. Nobody cared what my name was when I lost everything. Nobody cared to mention my name. But the moment I come out and say, okay, I'm finally figured out the journey of Forex and here I am to help, guess what? Oh, here comes the negativity. Where were you when I was struggling? Where were you when Bishop T.D. Jakes and his wife, I remember he said, I had just preached, but my wife had to sleep on the church bench at the church. Sarita Jakes, sleeping on the church bench at their church. And now that he made it, they talk. Oh, let's keep going. Tyler Perry. I got his book right over there. Waiting is Higher, I think it's the title. And he talked about his abusive father. I never knew all this. Highly abusive father, mother who encouraged him. He tried out on his dreams, and the man ended up sleeping out of his car. spending the last of his job money putting on plays. And right when he was about to quit, God said, boy, turn around and look. And he looked out the window on the play that he was going to call. And I believe he said this, it was going to be his last go round. And God said, stop crying. Look out the window. And he looked out the window and there was a line around the corner to come and see his play. And he said that one play, if it wasn't for him doing it one more time, Tyler Perry's name, nobody would even know him. See, now he's a household name, Tyler Perry. Everybody knows Tyler Perry. But you wasn't there when he was saying, I'm finna quit. This is my last one. I ain't doing it no more. I'm tired of losing all the money I had. I put everything I had and I'm sleeping out of my car. But he did it one more time. And that one more time was the catapult to make him who he is today, worth $600 million or more. Multi-billions of dollars have been generated from his movies because he didn't quit. Oh, let's go a little bit further. Steve Harvey, same situation. Everybody knows Steve Harvey, but nobody cared who Steve Harvey was when he was also sleeping out of his car because his dream cost him that. So now, you know, talk about Steve Harvey, where he travels, this and that. Oh, he met with President Trump. See, everybody talks about you when you get somewhere. Now you the focal point of conversation. Here's why. Because they don't have a personal conversation to talk about for themselves. Why? Because they gave up on their own dream a long time ago. They gave up on themselves. So they must put their lips on somebody else who is achieving something. This is the reason why you don't hear me gossiping about other Forex traders and this and that, putting them down, comparing myself to them. I don't waste my time on that because that's not what I'm called to do. It's not on my dream board to come along and start criticizing somebody else. I'm too busy running my own race to worry about criticizing and gossiping about others. What about you? Who are you spending so much time talking negative about? And you have to ask yourself the question, was that on your dream board? If it wasn't, then you need to stop doing that because that's where hating comes from. Stop being a hater. You have your own dream. It's just going to cost you something. Those who give up on their dreams become critics of those who made it. Did you know that? And I want you to write that down. Those who have given up on their own dreams become critics of those who actually have made it. You want to test my theory? All right, here's the goal. I have always been fascinated with how not sports players, but sports fans act. You want to know what I mean? Okay, let me explain it to you. You pay pay-per-view, you pay for your tickets before Corona and all these different things to go see a sports team. Why do you do that? Because those are the people who actually achieve their goals and their dreams. And then you come along sitting in the stands eating popcorn and hot dogs, drinking beer, ain't accomplished nothing, but you, the expert, telling them, oh, LeBron, you should have did this. Oh, Kobe should have did that. Shaq should have did this. Patrick Mahomes, who just lost the Super Bowl. Man, see, you should have been doing this. You get on the field and do better then. See, don't talk about what I'm doing. You do it. Or y'all talk about your man in the box. Come on, let's tell the truth. Tell the truth. Come on. And what I've learned to do, I'm a lot more gracious with people when they fail. Because when you go through your own dreams and you go through failures, you're a little more sensitive to those who actually have tried, and you see them trying their goals, whether it's a championship or whatever it is, and they fail, you're a lot more gracious and you're a lot more sensitive. Because when you're a person who is actually chasing your dream, you know doggone well failure hits you too. So you don't sit there with your mouth on top of somebody else because you know you're paying a dear price yourself. So you don't talk about another person who's bleeding because you bleeding yourself, not physically, but emotionally, and sometimes financially. In my entire journey in Forex, I have never went on social media trying to chase down the people talking about, oh, this person is a scammer, that person is a scammer. Although some people did scam me, but that wasn't part of my agenda. So I didn't waste my time doing it. I just took the hit and moved on. Because that's not part of my goals. It's not that they didn't deserve it, but I just felt I will not belittle myself to do that because that's not part of my agenda and it's a waste of our energy. I hope this is helping somebody out there. Come with me a little bit more and we'll be done. Steve Jobs. I was looking at a video today that I came across with Steve Jobs, and it was a video expressing why during some of his late in his years, some of the things as to why he stopped taking live questions. And I found it fascinating. We're talking about Steve Jobs, Mr. Apple. You know what happened? He said he realized I'm wasting so much time. Basically, in a nutshell, I'm just summarizing. In a nutshell, I'm answering all these questions from negative people who ain't willing to do what I'm doing. And they have no idea the sacrifice I'm making behind the scenes, nor my team. He was answering this little knucklehead person, this heckler in the crowd one time, who was criticizing him and his team and this and that. And he said, you have no idea how hard we're working behind the scenes to try to change this world. And this was back in the 70s or something like that. I forgot when he did this video. But it was a couple of decades ago. And he said, you have no idea how hard we're trying to change the world. And here this person come along, this little heckler, thinking he know all this, trying to put Steve Jobs down. And so he's learned, hey, you know what? Why am I even responding to critics? Let me keep going, because the more energy I'm putting in to try to negate your ideas about what I am and who I am and what I do, the less energy I'm actually putting into achieving the goals themselves. You fast forward a little bit, here's Mr. Apple himself, the founder, the creator of his own company, gets put out by his own board, only for them years later to bring him right back. How would you have felt being put off of the board of your own dream that you created? Some of you guys, you would have gave the thumbs up, not thumbs up. Y'all know you would have gave the thumbs up and never came back. That would have been the end of your dream. But because this was his dream, they tried to run his dream without him and weren't as successful. So guess what they had to do? Bring Mr. Steve Jobs back on board to the company he began. Why? Because it was his dream. Loved ones, you need to learn something from that. There are going to be dream stealers out there. But it's your dream. It's your vision. Let me give you an example. Write this down. The reason why they couldn't do him the way they had planned to is because when God gave a person a vision to change the world, he gave it to one person. You want to understand why people don't believe in your dreams? You can't worry about that. I'm going to help somebody right now. You want to know why you can't depend on other people to support your dream like you've been begging for, even if they live in your house? You want to know why? Because sometimes they really, truly, honestly love you and they cannot understand your dream. All they can do is see your dream from your personal perspective. They hear what you say, but they can't understand it. Why? Because God gave it to you and not to anybody else. And that's why you have to keep running your race, with or without understanding. Sometimes you have to work quietly in the dark on your dream. Shut your mouth, do whatever you need to do to pay your bills on the front end and keep working on your dream in the quiet end. And then when you do make it on the other side, then you become a conversational piece and everybody comes back talking about I just knew you was always going to make it. Stop lying. You was one of my worst critics. Type a number 10 in the box if you know that's true. Very people who criticize you in the beginning are very ones who got to come back and eat them words and say, oh, I always believed in you. Nigga, don't say that, Pat. That's the wrong word. Wrong word. Lord, forgive me. But you know what I mean. Please, that is a lie. You was my worst critic. All of a sudden, now you my best commentator. Get out of here. Kiss my two cheeks. You're a liar and the truth ain't in you. You was my worst critic. And now all of a sudden that I done made it, you want me to give you a handout like I owe you something. Come on now. This is the truth. And let me wrap up before I say a cuss word and Jesus get mad at me. Let me go two more people. King David in the Bible. He was anointed to be king when he was a teenager. But the very person who was supposed to help him be the successor of the throne was the very person who tried to assassinate him for years. And David still treated that man who was trying to assassinate him with love and respect, even to his dying day. He respected him even after his death. Why? Not because he actually loved what dude was doing to him, but he knew that he must maintain his integrity or else he wouldn't have been able to achieve a dream. This is why some of you guys, you're trying to shortcut your way through things, especially people in Forex, always looking for a shortcut, always trying to steal indicators. Don't want to pay for education, but want what you got. And if they can't get it, they come and talk about you. Because you're trying to shortcut your way to the top and they don't work that way. God cannot anoint or bless your dream if you're trying to shortcut and do dirty business. God ain't going to do a business with you. So you can write the 10 dream boards all day long. Forget it. And even if you achieve a dream, you won't have no peace. Why do you think there's a lot of rich people who still miserable and depressed? They're not happy with their success because of how they got there. You want to hear one more person who did it right? Joseph in the Bible. It was God himself who said, Joseph, you're going to be a big time person one day. And his journey was so painful. His own family turned against him, threw him into a pit. And when that didn't take him out because they had a discussion on we should kill him. Your own brother? Yep. Some of you guys got family members like that. They ain't gonna physically kill you, but they're killing your spirit every time they talk. That's why you got to stop talking to them about your dream. Stop trying to convince people to believe in your dream. It is something God put in your head and in your heart, so shut the hell up. Lord, forgive me for saying that word. I got to stop because this is passionate to me, and I apologize for these harsh words. Lord, forgive me, but you understand what I'm saying. Shut up. You're spending more time trying to convince people that your dream is true rather than just working on it. And that's why you're getting worn out. You're investing financially and mentally and emotionally in an area you weren't called to do it in. You're supposed to put that energy over here, but you spent over here worried about your critics, worried about who's going to click the like button on your dream. Meanwhile, God's saying, all you need to know is that I like you. I gave it to you. So keep working with me, because the only like button you need is me clicking it. But here you are over there worried about who said this and who said that and who said this and that. You petty. Petty people don't get no dreams done. They're too busybody, worried about everybody else. You ain't gonna get nowhere. This is a hard truth for some people, but the truth will set you free if you're willing to accept it. Joseph's own brothers was trying to kill him. Then he ended up getting his life saved. Then he was working in one of Pharaoh's servants' houses and became a leader because God's hand was with him. Then dude's wife called him a scammer, in a sense. Guess what she said? Oh, he was trying to rape me. That man wasn't even thinking about your old raggedy behind, your lustful self. So his wife was at the house while the head of the household was gone, because the master of the house trusted Joseph so much because Joseph had what? Integrity and character. But here come his old sleazy, greasy, old raggedy-headed wife talking about, oh, come on and have sex with me, Joseph. Joseph said, no, man, I can't do that. The master of the house gave me control of the entire house. The only thing he said I can't touch is you, and I ain't about to violate that rule. And here she come trying to climb up on the brother, and he ran. She grabbed his they used to wear loincloths, you know what I'm saying, to look like a little portable diaper. She grabbed hold of it while he was running out the door. So that was her evidence. Oh, see, he tried to rape me. No, he was trying to get away from you. You snatched the man's drawers off with your raggedy, dusty butt. Breast milk like powder. Coochie got cobwebs. You was wrong, lady. And poor Joseph got thrown in jail for years for a crime he never committed. Meanwhile, God promised him that he was going to be a successful guy. How do you think he felt when life was challenging him for the goal of a dream? Loved one, let me help you with something. I'm almost done, but you need to hear this. The bigger your dream, because all y'all want to write big dreams. Oh God, let me warn you, let me warn you, let me warn you. The bigger your dream, the bigger the obstacles. Please write that down and don't you ever forget it. Whether you never hear another Super Easy Forex video or nothing, I don't care, that's fine. But you better hear what I just said. You want to write all these big dreams on your board? The obstacles you're facing matches oftentimes the size of your dream. The bigger your dream, the bigger the obstacles. The more you want it, the worse things get first. I know nobody tells you this stuff. I know they don't. All they care about is you paying for whatever they got to offer. Nobody cares enough about you to actually say, you know what, here's the heartfelt truth. Let me help you where you really need help on the emotional level. I know how it feels to be very discouraged, but nobody cares. Everybody got a hustle going on. I'm always telling people, you know what, man, if you ever think I'm a scam, I beg you don't join me. Because I don't want to waste my time trying to convince you of nothing. Either you believe or you don't believe. If you don't, I ain't forcing your hand. Keep it moving. You know why? Because when I didn't have anything, I didn't play over people then. And I'm certainly don't need it now. So why would I play over people now? Do you understand what I'm saying? See, it's more about I need God to click the like button on my life. Because only He can help me achieve my dreams and goals. I hope y'all heard what I said. Joseph ended up being the second highest ruler in the entire land of Egypt during that period. Nobody was higher than Joseph than Pharaoh himself. So God ultimately did keep his promise. And here's the thing, and I'll leave you guys with this. Here's the thing. I've always told God, I have a problem with you giving dreams out. Because you'll promise a person a dream, but you didn't tell them about the journey. And oftentimes he can't tell you about the journey because if you did, you'll quit before you even get started. You wouldn't even write the dream board. The moment you said, okay, I'm thinking about writing up a dream board, God, what is that going to look like? And he started telling you how bad the journey is going to be. Many of you guys wouldn't have even finished writing your dream board. You would have quit. So he doesn't tell us that. Forex is no different. The journey is tough sometimes. It can be tough. It's not easy. It's your dream. You know what I tell my students all the time? Forex is not my dream. It's an avenue to my dream, but it's not my dream. Because once you actually figure it out, and all the games the market makers are playing and all these other things, when you finally figure it out, you figure out, you know what, I spent so much time on something that really didn't take that much time, but it took so much out of me. Until now, my thrill is actually what I'm doing now in Forex. It's not actually trading. It's coming back and teaching about the journey. Because even if you never sign up, and that's fine, would love to be your mentor, but even if not, why do I do these videos? Because if I can just help one person on their journey so it ain't so painful like mine was, then I've done a good job in this industry. And if God sees fit to move me up to another industry or do something else, that's fine. At least I proved to him that I didn't quit. I took it on the chin like a real man, and I still gave out what I could. And I helped somebody. Because the dreams, they cost a lot. They do. But here's what I'll leave you with. Although they cost, they do pay in the end for those who make the journey. What I mean by that? Many people sign up for the Olympic every time it comes around. Hundreds of people participate in the Olympics, but only a few people get the gold. And you say, well, what about everybody else who made it? I still got a lot of respect for them. When you say, well, they didn't get the gold, that's not the point. They paid the price to even be in the Olympics. See, if I wanted to go to the Olympics, I didn't pay the physical price that these people did. So I can go up there and all day long and say, hey, Uncle P is here. Uncle P is here, boy. Uncle P is here. I'm finna be in the Olympics. They're going to say, you don't what? Qualify. Why? Because I didn't pay the physical price to be there. So even if they don't make the gold, if they got silver, if they got bronze, if they got nothing, I still got a lot of respect for the price they paid to just be there. Because there are a lot of people said they're going to make it to the Olympics and they never even made it. So even if you don't win the gold, I still got a lot of respect for your tenacity of keep on trying. This is why I don't talk bad about people who I see fail. Because at least they tried. It's better than some of these lazy people out here who does nothing and yet always criticizing and talking about people who are trying. Oh, they should have did it like this. When was the last time you did it? See, if it was me, but it ain't you. What have you done of worth other than gossip about people? You dream killer? See, this is why I keep my communication circle real small. Because I don't want them kind of people in my life. I don't want them around me. Life is already trying to do a number on me every step I take to try to accomplish a goal. There's always an obstacle. And then to invite and allow people around me who add to that, absolutely not. I refuse to. So I used to hang around a lot of people. I don't do that no more. Every person on this planet has an expiration date, a certain amount of time you're supposed to be here. And then when you're gone, you can talk about, well, I believe in, reincarnation, this and that. You ain't coming back as the person you are, even if you believe in that. You hear what I'm saying? So the life you have now, this is all you got. So you don't have time to fool around with foolery. That's why I don't play around even in my group. I don't tolerate no foolery. You bring that foolery, I promise you, you'll be out. Get going with that. Don't come up in here with that foolery. Because I know the painful journey people come in with bruises and emotional scars, and then they come into our group looking for some encouragement. And here you come with your negative stuff. Boy, you better take that somewhere else. Don't let me catch you. Don't let my team, I have an admin team over my Telegram group. Let my admin team catch you with your foolery. You'll get a warning. You do it again, boom, you're out. I don't want it. People are going through so much. Pandemic, this and that and this. Texas is frozen. And here you come on to talk about people, man, please. No, man, I'm sorry. If you don't bring encouragement, keep your mouth shut. And if you're a dreamer who's actually working on the dream, you know one thing, and I'll say this and I really am done. You know one thing I know about dreamers? Test and see if I'm telling the truth. People who are working so hard on their dreams are people who you will hardly ever catch them gossiping about somebody else. Type in number 7 in the box if you ever notice what I just said. And I'll leave you with this one, just an idea. Because I'm leaving you with wealth in your head. Because if you are the type of person who's gossiping about others, that means you're not putting enough energy into your own goals. See, when your head is down and you're running your race trying to get to your goal, your head is down. You ain't up looking around at what everybody else is doing. Whoever got something going on to the left and to the right ain't, you know what, Bishop T.D. Jakes, he said something so powerful and I'll never forgot it. He said, what you think of me is none of my business. See, what you think about me ain't my business. I don't really know. Kiss my behind. I don't care. You weren't there when I lost millions of dollars and had to start from nothing. Went from multimillionaire to not even having a car. One week away from being evicted with my daughter. were you? Where were you? Did you have a helping hand saying, well, Uncle P, I'm going to see? Nobody cared who Uncle P was at that time. And now that I'm teaching about Forex, oh, he this, you don't even know me. See, Uncle P, this and that. You talking like you know me. You weren't there for my journey. And see, because you're talking about me, that's telling me this. They call it clickbait. I learned that new term, clickbait. So what they're doing is they'll take somebody who has achieved something and then they'll put their title on their videos because they know it'll draw your attention to them as clickbait to get, they're using somebody who have paid the price to shortcut their way to success. And I noticed something. Every person who did that, they still ain't nothing. They still ain't never exceeded any level of success because they're going about it the wrong way. Have you ever noticed that people who are trying to work hard on their dreams, you will hardly ever hear them gossiping about somebody else? Because that's not what dreamers do. We keep our heads down, we cry quietly, and we keep it moving. Did you hear what I said? Because that's success. Hard work, crying with a lot of tears and emotional pain, and you keep on walking. You cry and walk. Write that down and we're done. Cry and walk. Cry and walk. Cry and walk. Y'all have a good one. See you on Sunday. Don't forget, I got something good for y'all. Y'all gonna be so glad you tuned in on Sunday. Make sure you tune in on Sunday. Love y'all. Share this video if it was helpful. And by the way, click the like button. Subscribe, please. Subscribe.